Good morning to one and all present here. I'm Harshini K, Secretary General of NPSMUN 2021, extending a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Let us begin with an invocation to the Almighty.
This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike, strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength, likely to bear my joys and sorrows. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike, strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength to make my love fruitful in service. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike, strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength never to disown the poor or bend my knees before insolent might. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike, strike at the root of penury in my heart.
Now, we request our Madam Principal, Mrs. Sujata, to address the gathering.
Good morning and welcome to the NPSMUN'21. The present global health crisis has sent the life of many into a spin. World over, the pandemic has caused immense loss of life and has reversed years of progress, leaving millions staring at extreme poverty. The common man is looking for physical signs and verbal cues that the situation is under control. It is times like these when inspirational leadership is needed most. The leader must be able to inspire people that things can be turned around and have a vision to make it work. The youth of every country must be groomed to step up, take responsibilities, and lead initiatives to tide over difficult times like these. The youngsters are yet to wear blinkers and can think laterally and innovatively to churn out feasible solutions. This kind of preparedness is exactly what MUN does to the youth. Through the simulations at the conferences, they understand the need for international relations, diplomacy, and learn leadership skills. A vital part of being a delegate is also to update oneself with current affairs and research complex issues. Going through this process, they are but one step away from sliding into the roles of worthy statesmen in real time. It is therefore the prime duty of schools and colleges to foster the MUN clubs. It is really heartwarming to see so many delegates gathered here to discuss the world's most pressing problems and debate solutions too. Wishing all of them the best of luck to defend their resolutions to the chair and convince others to pass them. The avid Munners among the senior years of NPS Gopalapuram have toiled hard to put together this event. They have chosen a right mix of committees with national and international agendas. To add prestige to our conference, the students have been resourceful enough to invite Mr. K.S. Subramanian, an officer of high regard from the administrative services. I cordially welcome you, sir, to share your experiences of working closely with the United Nations. So without much further ado, I call upon Team NPS MUN to take over the proceedings.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. On behalf of Team MUN, I take great pleasure in inviting our Honorable Chief Guest, Sri K.S. Subramanian, Additional Deputy Comptroller and Auditor General. He has a rich and diverse experience in auditing the state governments, railways, and defense, having participated in numerous international conferences, meetings, and workshops in about 45 countries. He has actively audited various bodies of the United Nations, like the World Health Organization, World Food Programme, UN Peacekeeping Operations, and United Nations Secretariat. He has presented audit reports at International Atomic Energy Agency and World Intellectual Property Organization. He has attended several meetings of the UN Board of External Auditors and calls his experience at the UN truly universal. I now invite the chief guest to share his experiences.
Respected Ms. Sujata, Principal of National Public School, Gopalapuram, Ms. Harshini, Secretary General of NPSMUN' 2021, distinguished delegates of various member states, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to one and all. I consider it a privilege to be invited to talk at the inaugural session of the 7th edition of MUN program of the school. I can vividly remember the excitement and the enthusiasm that was palpable when my daughter participated in the MUN programs 6-7 years ago. She spent considerable time trying to learn about Cameroon, the country which she represented, and to understand the issues for discussion. I'm sure that you would all be experiencing similar emotions and would have learned a lot more about the United Nations in the process. Now, I'll briefly share some of my experiences in interacting with the United Nations organizations. I would say that some of these experiences have been personally very enriching for me in my professional career as well. I would start with the World Health Organization, a global organization that has offices in more than 150 countries. When I audited the World Health Organization more than 10 years ago, I noticed that they had created a global service center at Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, from where they centrally processed various personal claims of employees like leave, travel bills, education allowances, etc. This was a novelty at that time. This led in huge saving of manpower and also provided various other benefits to the organization. I was so enamored by this idea that I immediately proposed implementation of this shared service center in our department, and a pilot for this project was also successfully done in my office. Now I'll move to the World Food Programme. My interaction at the World Food Programme has enabled me to realize that the employees of UN work with such passion to improve the lives of the most underprivileged people of the world. I carried out an audit of the World Food Programme at Somalia in 2010. Many of you would know that Somalia at that time was considered one of the most dangerous places in the world because of the strife between the national government and the terrorists. Despite the logistic challenges and the security concern, the WFP employees toiled hard in discharging the work and to ensure that food assistance reached the poor people of the country. There are some employees of the WFP who personally suffered huge hardships, but that did not deter WFP nor its employees from its goal of reaching food assistance to the most impoverished people of Somalia. That experience made me to realize that if each one of us can work with passion in whatever we do, I think the world will be a much better place to live. I had similar experience while auditing the UN peacekeeping operations in Uganda also. I had also participated in several programs of the UN on Sustainable Development Goals. I feel that the Sustainable Development Goals are the most comprehensive and ambitious goals that the UN has charted for the member nations. The 17 SDGs cover a wide gamut of activities ranging from eradication of poverty, public health, education, action against hunger, climate action, strengthening marine life to strengthening national institutions. The UN has to be applauded for its vision in preparing this goal, which, if fully realized, would make the world a much better place to live. My interactions with the UN has also broadened my horizons, as the employees at the UN are from the nooks and corners of the world, from the smallest South Pacific island countries to the largest and most developed. Meeting people from such diverse backgrounds and culture has made me to realize that there are always drastically different ways of looking at issues. It has made me to accept people and the views of others the way they are. I understand that 145 students from 27 schools are participating in the program. I wish to really congratulate the school and the organizers of MUN for managing to attract such a wide participation in these challenging times. I also notice that the issues that have been chosen for deliberation in this MUN, ranging from human rights violations to the situation in Yemen, Jammu and Kashmir reorganization bill, etc., are topical, thought-provoking, and conducive for healthy deliberations. I'd like to conclude by saying that the Indians have generally done exceptionally well at the United Nations. The Indians have occupied very high positions, and there are a lot of Indians who continue to occupy high positions. For instance, our Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, he worked as the Under Secretary General of the UN. Ms. Lakshmi Puri, she was a former Deputy Executive Director of the UN Women, and she was an Assistant Secretary General as well. Mr. Chandramouli Ramanathan, he is currently working as the Assistant Secretary General of the UN, and is also the controller managing the budget of the UN. And for all of you, it would be very happy to know that he is from Namma Chennai. I'm confident that many of you would get an opportunity to work for the United Nations in future and reach the topmost echelons of the UN. I wish the school, the organizers, and the delegates from the various member states success in the next 2 days of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a glimpse of the UN and the work involved in international relations. It was truly inspiring to all prospective diplomats gathered here. I'm also extremely delighted in informing you and the delegates that the Chit Exchange software being used for the conference has been designed by our very own technopreneur, Gautam Srinivasan of 12th grade. And now, without further ado, by the power vested in me as Secretary General of NPSMUN 2021, I, Harshini K, declare the conference open.